Fort Sumter, Bull Run, Gettysburg, for American citizens, these battles, all located in the eastern United States, will forever be associated with the Civil War. But not many people know that there was a battle fought right here in our home state. The westernmost battle of the Civil War was fought in the future state of Arizona. Welcome to Picacho Pass. On September 16th, I traveled to Picacho Peak. Picacho Peak is located about halfway between Phoenix and Tucson, Arizona. Picacho Peak was dedicated and opened as an Arizona state park on May 30th, 1968. The 1,500-foot Picacho Peak has been used as a landmark by travelers since prehistoric times. One of the first recordings was in the 1700s by the Spanish Anza expedition as it passed through the area. In 1848, the Mormon battalion camped and constructed a wagon road that passed by Picacho Peak. In the late 1850s, the Butterfield Overland stage was carrying passengers through this area. But Picacho Peak's most noted historical event occurred on April 15, 1862, when Confederate and Union scouting parties met in the Battle of Picacho Pass during the Civil War. This was the largest Civil War clash to take place in Arizona. When the war broke out in April 1861, the troops were withdrawn from the Arizona and New Mexico territories to fight in the east. Confederate forces saw this as an opportunity to expand their territory westward, where they hoped to gain mineral wealth to finance the war and gain access to California ports. In order to stop the Confederates, a small group of about 2,350 Union soldiers from California, under Colonel James H. Carleton, set out toward Tucson. Here's the battle plan. Lieutenant Calloway was to go down the west side of the mountain and attack the Confederates straight on. Lieutenant Baldwin was to come around Picacho Peak and flank the right side of Confederate troops. Lieutenant Barrett was to come around the east side of the mountain to cut off any ambushes and flank the left side of the Confederate army. Lieutenant James Barrett met a patrol of Confederate Rangers led by Sergeant Henry Holmes near Picacho Peak. Fearing an ambush and not waiting to attack the Confederates together with the other squads, Barrett's men rode into the Rangers' camp and attacked alone. Barrett was killed, and fierce combat continued for an hour and a half. Exhausted and leaderless, Barrett's men and the other Californians regrouped and rejoined the rest of Carleton's command. In addition to Lieutenant James Barrett, Private George Johnson and Private William S. Leonard lost their lives in the Battle of Picacho Pass. California volunteer captain and historian Richard H. Horton wrote after the war, "The graves of the Union lieutenant and his men may now be seen within 20 feet of the Southern Pacific Railroad as it goes through Picacho Pass." This battle resulted in Confederate victory because Hunter's Rangers had successfully delayed Carleton's column and had prevented a surprise attack on Tucson. However, in the long run, the Union won because they were able to expel Confederate forces from Arizona.